Hello, I'm Dr. John G. Porter of Entrepreneur Direct, and this.
I'm Gerald Forbes, West Philadelphia, and I'm a big Redskins fan.
And I love the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. I've been moving calm, no start, no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. I hold back, sometimes I won't, yeah. I feel good, sometimes I don't, yeah. I finesse down with the road, yeah.
Initially, I always wanted to start a nonprofit because growing up in the inner city of Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, I grew up in a recreation center, and a lot of volunteers that I've seen throughout the years kind of influenced me at times when my mom was working two jobs and I had to go to the recreation center after school right away, and they would have meal programs or somebody would volunteer and do a give back or something of that nature, and it always stuck with me. So I did that in my neighborhood, and after a while I wanted to make it legit. I was doing these give backs and they were like, you should have an official nonprofit. Long story short, I investigated American Grant Writer Association. I looked it up online, and when I found that, I decided to kind of follow through with it because I wanted to learn the ins and outs about grant writing. When I did that, I went through the course and I actually met Dr. Porter. When I met Dr. Porter, he helped me so much through the classes and the courses. He has vast knowledge, to say the least, and he's helped me so much. A year later, when I was ready to actually open my nonprofit, I reached out to him again because he was always warm and open and willing to help. And I reached out to him, and then a year later, and he didn't miss a step. He let me know, he said, what were you going into? Because he dealt with a lot of people. And I told him, he said, I've spent years doing this. And he said, would you mind if I wrote your grants for you? And I said, well, yeah. He let me know what the fee is, so on and so forth, and we handled business. So long story short, I struggled in a certain area, and the area was the budget. That's where I got stuck at. And me not knowing, I'm thinking that, when someone writes your grant, they're writing everything for you. So I assumed that the budget was done. And he let me down very gently and said, you got to work on this budget on your own. And I struggled. And I think I struggled with it for like a month and got back to it. You know how we are. If we struggle with something, at times we don't want to see that again. So I was putting it off, and I'm usually not putting things off of that magnitude. So long story short, I broke down to him. I said, listen, I'm good at a couple of things, and I have some very strong points. This is not one of them. And I think it might have been 2 days later, and he said, would you mind coming down to the American Grant Writers Convention and speaking in Atlanta? And I said, absolutely. What you want me to speak about afterwards? And he said, well, a lot of grant writers struggle with believing that the value that they bring is desirable for the price that they're bringing. And I knew that without any qualms, when he told me the price, I was willing to pay it because I needed something done, and I knew that he was good at it and the value that he brought. So when he told me what it was about, I definitely wanted to do that because I feel like their job and their career is needed. We became friends after that, and we started talking business and sharing a lot of things, and we felt a need, a real significant need for, number one, financial education, but also people to have the resources and the support that they would need at a reasonable cost, economic cost, to kind of spread their wings in entrepreneurship and be able to one day become financially free to be able to, write their own ticket, so to speak, for them and their family. And that's how it came about.
I've been an entrepreneur basically all my life. When I was in grade school, I would do games in my backyard and set up different events and charge the neighborhood kids nickels and dimes to come in. And did throughout junior high and high school, I did a variety of businesses that were just mine that I created. I mean, some of them were like shoveling snow, cutting grass, those kinds of things, but whatever I thought of, I would try to implement as a business. Did a little bit of that in college, and then became a teacher. And as a teacher, I decided to work with at-risk youth, and I thought, well, being a national speaker was a little bit better than being a school teacher, because a school teacher, you're in the same room all the time, and you have the same kids all the time, and you have all this unique ways of working with students to share. So I started out when I was a school teacher. I developed a seminar program, a one-day program, and I took a day off of school and did the seminar, and a month or two later I did it again. I took a day off of school, did the workshop, and I did it about 4 or 5 times during my last school year, and it was always successful. So the following year I just decided to become a full-time seminar speaker and travel around the country, and you know, over the years I've probably done somewhere between 800 and 900 workshops all over the country. What I found was that at almost every workshop there would be 1 or 2 people that would come up and say, I want to do what you do, you know, I want to be a national speaker. Or they would come up and say, you know, that they had a different idea. It may not be they wanted to be a speaker, but they had an idea what they wanted to do for their business. And what I realized was that there's a lot of people out there that have an idea. This is what I would like to do. You know, I'm currently have a job, which is fine, it pays my bills, but there's really something else that I have a passion that I want to do for myself. And what I found was that all these people have the ability to sell their product or provide their service, to do the implementation stage. But in order to run a successful business, you have to have the office side of it, or you have to have the marketing side of it, or you know, there's the public relations side of it. So there's a lot more sides of the business than just your passion to provide a product and service. And so one of the reasons why I want to start Entrepreneur Direct was to help those people that have passionate ideas. They're very good at what they do, but they need the help and support in other areas in order to make their business successful.